Welcome back to the Dr. Mario Dr. Mario Championship channel, friends. We are on to our next round. You're going to see levels 6 through 9. And here to call the action are our 2022 Player of the Year, Swang, and my good time rival, Ibar. Take it away, guys.
Hey, thanks for the introduction, Savage. We are here today to see a battle between our number 1 seed, OoktheLibrarian, and our number 4 seed, Larvae12. Ibars, can you tell us a little bit about these two players?
Absolutely. This is their first time that they have met in the speed tournament. Ook was actually the May Silver champion, and his 6 through 9 average is a 739, while Larva's is a 748. So this should be a really close match.
And as you said, both these players have been respective silver champions between 2 brackets this year, so it's going to be an absolute slugfest between these two players here. And it's actually surprising that both of them have not met up yet at all. This is their first time showing, so this is going to be great, Ibar. Absolutely great.
Absolutely. Both really good players, and this is going to be a fantastic match.
Most definitely. As Savage Octagon mentioned before, this round 2 is our semifinals of our silver champion. It's levels 6 through 9. They'll be starting. It looks like we got rage from both players.
Larva's asking for cat percent.
And I don't blame her. And you know, all the players need all the advantages they can get. Ook's in me playing what seems to be, despite a team chill in the background with his banner, he's going to be playing team off. But we have a 3-2-1 pills, and we're going to get launched off with Game 1 between these two players with our semifinals.
Larva's out of the gate first. Decent board, a lot of blue up top, nothing really at the bottom though. So see how she deals with that drop. The drop time.
I'm digging Larva's board. A lot of her pills are stacked up in a way which is suggesting verticality. Gladly taking a drop time. I think it's a very smart play for her to do that. Each player is going to make their choice to chunk things down slowly but surely to get everything down. Larva with an amazing tuck lightning bolt, and she's down to 16 here, Ibar.
Yeah, she's doing phenomenal work right now, while Ook is finally getting out the gate. Decent line, lots of double yellows in play. We'll see how he can get to maybe one that horizontal.
Ook has an interesting board where he's got a lot of void in basically the lower portion of his board. It's going to be interesting whether or not he elects to take drop time down, but looking like he isn't going to be taking a whole lot of drop time, as Ook is going to be tucking and swimming and maneuvering pills down, and is making short work of this down to his final 10, and is electing to possibly clear those blues out in a horizontal manner.
Yes, and it looks like Ook will get that yellow horizontal and then double red, perfect. And meanwhile, we have Larva with only her last 2 yellows on the board, and she will be out at a 127.
A fantastic time. Ook is going to be joining her quite shortly here. He's going to be out at a 105, which is a very fast time for this level here. Ook is playing lights out right now here, Ibar. And meanwhile, we're looking at Larvae, who's going to just be chunking down, has this barge of red that just needs to be destroyed in order for her to advance the board.
Yes, just a ton of red, but a lot of them are in double opportunity shape, so she should be able to take out pretty quickly to get back down to yellows and blues. Ook, on the meanwhile, is dealing with some good combos and just chunking down at what he has.
Right, and as you say that, he's being dealt with a slew of red-yellow pill halves. Not really what he wants to see, as the majority of his board is a lot of blues set up in interesting spots in order for him to advance the remaining part of it. Hopefully the doctor will send him some blue segments so he can continue to make quick work of this here. But as we say that, Larvae has shortened the gap, and it's a 2-virus game between these two players here, Ibar.
Yeah, so Larva also has the same thing as Ook with 2 different double blues that are horizontal. She can either build up to get them, but it might be better just to try to deal with them separate. It's a little unfortunate.
She's making the best work out of it here. She dropped everything down here. She's with no yellow axis on her board. She does not need yellow pills, and The only way to continue on with her board here is to get the blue pills just chunked away here. Looks to me like she has the bottom portion for her cleared up to make it where she's going to take it horizontally. She does that, and just needs a couple other segments here to get out of this level here.
Meanwhile, Ook has only 3 blues left, which he can take out 2 with his next 2. Perfect. And then he needs to dig down to the last yellow and last blue on the left side. But Larva's already out around 3:30.
Yeah, and at a 3:30, Larva's out. Her board is looking a lot better than what the prior board looked like. She's got a lot of diversity, although now she's left with just blues and yellows. So as I said that, she's being dealt with just a series of just blues and yellows just on her board here. Meanwhile, Uka's out into this 8th level at a 320 and is also making quick work here, just chunking everything down.
Yes, Larva just getting roughly dealt with so much red and yellow when she needed only blue, but Ook is starting to stream through this level 8 here, getting good diversity and keeping it until this yellow lack of yellow has come up.
Takes that horizontal in with the blues. He's added some diversity, and as we were looking at each of the players' boards here, Uka's dealt with, and now he's opened it up. He was having an issue where it was mainly non-blue access, and now he has it where blue is not, reds and yellows are the things that are on his board here. Both these players are dealing with an interesting set of RNG, and Larvae with that lightning rod down, and I'm liking Larvae's board. It's nice and clean, everything's straight up, straightforward, and she's going to be making this level 8 soon to be hers.
Yes, this is looking like a very nice board for Larva. Get that horizontal red, she'll be down to her last yellow, and then no more use for yellow, just blues and reds. 4 viruses to go.
A clean end game for Larva, as she just needs blues and reds to get out of here. Meanwhile, Ook is looking just to need some yellows to be joining here. These players are basically essentially tied virtually on the screen, but it looks to me like Ook's going to be out first at a 456.
Larva will be right behind him and be out right here at a 532. We also have to remember that these players are about half a minute difference in time. And honestly, it's a pretty good, nice, diverse board for Larva here, and Ook's just full of red.
Yes, Ook has a bunch of reds and blues on top of his line. And meanwhile, I wanted to say, hey, Burb Wizard, thank you very much for rating us. Very awesome. Glad to see y'all joining into the silver semifinals between these two players, OoktheLibrarian and Larvae 12. Semifinals with our silver champion. Glad you could tune in here and appreciate the love. Much appreciated.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for the raid. It is very, very welcome. We have our players here at 19 for Larva and 19 for Ook. Both doing really solid work on this board, on their boards.
And I like that drop cross from Larva. Excellent vision, getting that set up there, just chugging, opening up the remaining part of her board. She had a huge barge in the middle of it, and she just made quick work of it. Meanwhile, Ook is going to respond with that horizontal, has the potential. No, makes it into a horizontal cross. Was thinking of getting a fat log, but keeps it simple there. And sometimes simple is the best way to go.
I wonder if Ook is going to go for this, the 2 reds so far apart as a horizontal instead of doing the the vertical with the 2 reds, but he did opt to do that and looking pretty good. Only 3 viruses to go, and Larva's down to 4, so should be pretty close.
And a good choice from Ook for electing to clear up the double horizontals simultaneously there. If players are trying to prioritize clears in doubles, triples, or even more than that to make sure that they're utilizing the pill halves as efficiently as possible, and Ook saw the opportunity to take 2 at 1, 2 for the price of 1 here. That gets him a 648, and Larva's out at 732. GG's the both player with this awesome first semifinals game between the two of them.
So Ook will take the first game, but that's all right. We still have at least 1 more game to go, possibly 2. And we never know. Maybe we'll see some overtime.
We would love to see that drama here. We've had deciders, we've had some overtime. I mean, anything's possible in this crazy, wacky, wild world of Dr. Mario. And I love it. Uke's going to be silent in thought. Getting his resets in. Or perhaps looking at his digital device, some phone action. Whatever it might be. Ook with a thumbs up.
All right. Oh,
We have readies from both players.
great.
Ook, don't forget to reset your timer. I'm sure he'll get into that there, but we'll get readies from both players. The DrMC bot's going to count us down. And Ibar, would you do the pleasure of counting us down?
Absolutely, Swan.
I'll join you. Let's do this. It's a synchronous countdown here.
And should be going anytime. Oh, we need the timer reset. There we go.
Perfect.
Here we go.
In 3, 2,
1.
1. Goals. And these players are off simultaneously at the same time. You love to see it here.
That makes the job so much nicer for us. Top lines for Ook is kind of odd. Just a big old line on top. He needs to get cut through.
Right, and he elected to clear up. He elected to advance his board with 2 horizontal clears to kind of open his board up, kind of flailing his pills around, not really getting the sort of pill sequence that you'd like to see. The RNG just not delivering to him. Meanwhile, Edna, as we say that, looks like Larvae is making short work of this level 6 down to her final 14 viruses.
Yes, and that was a beautiful L by Ook there. Just taking out 3 viruses all at once. Larva, on the other hand, has a lot of red on her top line, but she'll take care of that shortly, I'm sure.
I see this plan that Ook is setting up. He's going to drop the blue down, get the red. Oh, maybe a little bit of a slight premature clear there, perhaps if he had the other red pill half, but that's okay. He can still clear up the blue sequence from underneath there, so not too detrimental to his plans.
Absolutely, and that double blue was so helpful for him. Otherwise, he'd have to build up to get the 2 yellow or 2 blues. But he should be out here shortly. Excuse me, at a 123.
Excellent work from Ook so far. Larvae's going to go ahead and get this drop cross set up. Excellent work there. Meanwhile, has everything nice and clear and has a very easy end game to access the remaining portion of her viruses here. She should be joining Ook quite shortly.
Absolutely. Ook has a great board, I feel. Now he's gotten it cleared down to almost nothing but reds, but he's working with what he has, and hopefully the doctor will just give him a bunch of reds there. Swung.
And his color diversity is looking okay. You know, he had a lot of reds and blues in his top line and no real purpose for his yellows. He had a yellow next to a blue, which is a good out, and he also had a yellow next to his red in case he got yellow pill halves that just weren't going to advance his board otherwise. Some strategic garbage played by Ook, and has resulted in a very clean board. Meanwhile, as he's chunking the rest of his board down, he is down to 11, and it's Ook's playing a very clean game into this level 7 here, Ibar.
In the meanwhile, we have Larva here, just good color diversity. She has something to do with almost any pill she gets. And she'll get a garbage side T there, and she'll just really heavy on that right side. She really needs to start cutting that down.
And that double yellow was a prime opportunity for her. She had it set up. She was possibly looking for a horizontal drop, but when the opportunity presented itself with that double yellow, you know, that was the best option for Larvae to make sure that her board wasn't chock full of garbage here. But as we say, garbage, Ook was out of level 7 at a 3 minutes flat, and kind of eyeing this board. It looks kind of an interesting shape for Ook. Has some yellows that are possibly suggesting to be cleared up horizontally and vertically, and it's just interesting set of grouping with his viruses here.
Yeah, absolutely. I personally would have been really tempted to take the 3 horizontal yellow, but I know this is probably not the best play. But he's doing great. He did exactly what he was probably supposed to do, and only do 2 of the yellows horizontally instead of taking all 3. Great work.
Right. I think that was definitely a smart play for Ook, as you mentioned that. Players ultimately want to clear out pills as efficiently using the fewest pill halves, and like you said, Ibar, sometimes the 3 is the choice that would advance the board more, but Ook played it a little bit smarter and said, you know what, I don't think that's conducive to what my endgame strats are. So kudos to Ook for recognizing that, and because of that, he is actually what we thought was a not so great board. He's making it really just destroying this board here. He's down to his final few viruses.
Yeah, but meanwhile, Larva just finally getting out at 7. 7 was so hard on her. Her top line of 8 isn't too much better. It's just one big line across the top that's barring her from the rest of the board with a big void in the bottom left.
Yeah, she has no access. She had no real access to yellows, and just now made access to that yellow here. Luckily, the pill sequencing for her is looking okay. Ook with too much yellow on his board gets out at a 447 and just had that last red that the doctor was not letting him get out at a good time there. But 447 is not too bad.
No, not bad at all. That's good sub 7 pace at least. So doing great job. Good diversity on his top board. He should be getting out here in about a minute and a half, I think.
I think so too. A lot of his pills, both these pills are set up in a way where you just need one particular set of a pill half to clear 2 things, and by things I mean 2 garbage pills or 2 viruses at the same time. And so these players have these sequences set up in a way where you're going to see minimal drop time with 1 or 2 rows of drop for the clears that they're doing here. But as we say that, we are down to Larva's final 13 and just has a bunch of blues on her board. Just oops, all blues.
Yes, so much blue. It's not that great for her right now. She still yet has another level to go afterwards, so hopefully she can get this cleared up quickly and start catching back up to Ook. But this is pretty much Ook's game to lose at this point.
And Ook takes this yellow. He's got a bunch of yellows. A bunch of double yellows coming up Ook's way. Going to drop this down. He's going to get that last blue removed here. Dropping that yellow down to clear it. Cutting access off to that bottom yellow. We'll see how that pans out with that final yellow virus at the bottom right portion of his board here, Ivar.
Absolutely. Just I wonder if he's going to try to take out the red garbage first, or is he going to do blue? I don't know. He'll have to take out the red garbage at this point. Larva will be out here shortly at a 637.
So 637 out of level 9 here. So as you said, it might be Ook's game. He's going to elect to clear this yellow out vertically, and Ook's going to secure himself a victory into the finals at a 649. GG's.
Yes, GG's Ook. That was a great game. Larva, I know that was such a rough game for you, and hopefully that won't deter you to keep it won't deter you. You're a great player. Keep it up.
Yeah, the RNG wasn't so friendly to Larvae, but as the viewers are seeing, sometimes the RNG can do that way. But props to both players. They played an excellent game, brilliant game between these two, and we hope to see both of you guys in 2023. So we're looking forward to that. Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the DrMC. We're going to get into our second and final semifinals match between 2 players of BettyB and Theeedave. And once again, I'm back here with Ibar. Ibar, how you doing from that match?
Oh, I'm doing great still. Hopefully this will be a great match. We got Theeedave, who restreams all our stuff. We greatly appreciate that. Been a stalwart in the community for many for a while. I'm not exactly sure how many is many. And Betty, who got player most improved of the year, and she doing fantastic work on the last match I saw. So this will be a great match.
Yeah, both these players have. I feel like both these players have a much different style between the two. As we see, Betty is a stalwart in the versus community, likes to set up really fancy combos at times. And Dave, I feel like, plays a very straightforward game, very methodical with his plays. just goes from top down, side to side, has very textbook savvy knowledge of the Dr. Mario game. So it's going to be interesting to see how these two styles will clash against one another here.
Yeah. As Flindo is pointing out, Dave also has Contributor of the Year. So we have 2 nominees and playing against each other today. This is going to be fun.
We have Contributor of the Year and Most Improved Player of the Year. This is going to be a slugfest between these two, and I cannot wait to see when it starts and how it starts. Good luck to both these players.
Absolutely, this is going to be fantastic. As we know, both of these players have been playing 6 through 9. This is their second meeting. The first time, let me pull that up real quick, against Dave. Betty B beat Dave the last time back in January in silver in the semis, like this one.
Interesting to note here. Yeah, that was quite a while ago. That was nearly a year ago. So these players are both seasoned at their skills, and we're going to see how these skills are put to the test between the two of them here. So Betty does lead the series 1-0 against Dave, but never count Dave out. Never count Betty out.
Absolutely. And we do have readies in our chat. I believe, did we get? Yeah, we did. Okay.
Perfect. Yeah, we have a ready from Theeedave, we have a ready from Betty, and we have a 3, 2, 1, and pills. Ibar, let's do this. Let's go. The battle between Theeedave and Betty B. Dave at the wrong level. That's okay. It looks to me like he's going to get his timer set up, get everything all set up there. Now we have it there. And that's okay. I think that's a no harm, no foul type of play there. Tell me more about Dave's board here, Ibar.
Dave's board is pretty low. I think it'll be great for him. And lots of double opportunities. This is going to be a great yellow blue once he gets another one. Betty's board is a little bit higher up and very red at the moment.
Yeah, she basically destroyed all of her blues almost instantaneously, and is going to make some very strategic work to make sure that the non-blue halves are going to advance the board in the way here. Setting up a potential combo, fires it off a little earlier, just wasn't getting a red, but still, Betty's using her versus ingenuity to be creative with her plays, and it's really showing with the non-blue, the pills that just weren't coming that were non-blue.
Absolutely. She's going to be dealing with a lot of red for quite a while, but while we're talking about that, Dave is doing his own little bit of work. He's got quite a bit done. Yeah, he's making everything straightforward.
He has it all set up here. He has some horizontal drops. I like how he did that. He had a couple of different flexible plays to get everything all situated there. Drops that yellow down. It looks like everything's going to be mostly vertical on his half, with the exception of that blue, unless he decides to take that yellow out vertically as well. But it's 3 viruses between these two. Betty making some shapes, showing us that geometry is important in this game of Dr. Mario, and utilizing that to be as efficient as possible.
Betty out at a 134 and Dave out at 138. So these players are neck and neck. Good boards from both players. And what do you think, Swan?
Virtually a dead heat between these two, and Betty with that tuck lightning bolt, a great way to utilize that pill sequence. That way she would minimize the drop time. Looking to clear those yellows in a horizontal fashion. That's okay, not too bad there. Alexa cleared up, drop it down. A little bit of a pill, misflip, but nothing too detrimental to her game as she is down to her 25 here, Ibar.
Absolutely. And Dave is actually taking the virus lead with only 19 to go. He has been making some great work over on his board. You'll see a drop right here. Perfectly okay. That was about the only place a red blue could go at that point. I think he's waiting on a double yellow to get those top 2.
Right. The double yellow would be the opportune thing, but with the lack of a ledge set up there, I think it was wise of Dave to just get it all set up here. He does have strategic garbage set up with the blues and the yellows, and the yellows and the blues, and the blues and the reds. So anything that isn't ultimately as optimized as he would like, he can drop it down. And as we see right there, drop 1, 2, 3, and he's got a very clean board going into the last few part of level 7 here.
Yeah, Betty, although Betty here has a very messy board. buried on top of that blue. She would have loved to take out to get a triple horizontal, but she's got to clear out that column 6 to is really spired up, getting
And
a
I
little
like
out of
what you hear.
control.
That double red absolutely at a perfect time for Betty. It's going to make everything very easy for her to just drop down and clear that traffic light of yellows and blues and reds here. Electing to clear everything out vertically, she's going to go ahead and drop down. That blue is great, but I'm a little worried with that blue and the yellow, and it's going to be an interesting, difficult endgame work with, although that red is going to make things a little bit easier for her to possibly advance down to the last part of her board here.
Yeah, it looks like Betty's got quite a bit of work to get out of level 7 here. While Dave only got all of his reds right now, he'll be out of level 7 at 4-minute even.
And Betty smartly electing to place that yellow red. She didn't. She was ultimately looking for a blue red to possibly open the board up. Just wasn't coming that way. It is a barrage of pill sequencing over there, and as we know, this is the type of board that you might see to work with in a versus match. But this is one of those things where it's we're going to see some creative plays, and Betty's going to make she's going to advance that board to get to her last 2 viruses here. So, in the face of Betty, this will not be too big of a problem for her, although it does seem that way.
Yes. Dave, on the other hand, has only 4 blues left on his board, lots of red and yellow. It's looking pretty nice, open, and it's super clean. There's like no garbage on the board at all, which is great for him.
And that's conducive of Dave's style here. He's got reds and yellows presented, maintain that clean top line, maintaining that flexibility to his plays, has everything all set up and ready to go, roaring and ready to go, and just needs reds to continue on with this level and get into the final level here within this level block.
Yes, he's opting to go diagonal or horizontal for that yellow, and he will get it. I think I would have used that red because there's just nothing but reds left on red instead of on that yellow. But I mean, he'll be out here before too long. Although Betty is now into her level 8.
And she's making really quick work. Betty was out at around a 5:15, 5:20, and is just absolutely obliterating this level 8. A lot of players, what ends up happening is they will play a level, it might get to their head, and when it gets to their head, they kind of, create a series of misdrops. But this looks like quite the reverse for Betty. It looks like a fire's lit underneath her, and she's brought the gap down from 12 to 1. Down. It's a 9 virus game between us two. Dave out of 608, and Betty is just screaming through this level, saying, "We are not done yet. We are going to go on, and it's going to be a game here, Dave."
Absolutely. Betty's almost down to only blues now, but Dave, onto his level 9, has a lot of double opportunities in the middle of his board. He's just got to drill down to them. And very blue and yellow heavy currently. Swung.
Lots of blues, lots of yellows, no easy access to red, although Dave is getting a bunch of yellows and yellows and blues to advance his board here. Meanwhile, we see Dave continually drop everything down. He has blues and yellows, going to bring it on down. Doubles upon doubles, ready to set up a nice tuck lightning bolt from it. Betty out at a 656. So what seemed to be a not so great level 7 was a brilliant level 8. We got ourselves a game here. But as we say that, looks like Dave is just scorching through this level as well, and he is down to his final 14 viruses here.
Yes, and that is just fantastic work by Betty. It's fantastic work by Dave. Betty never saying die. Dave getting another lightning bolt. Fantastic work. Down to his last 3. He'll be out very shortly, Swung.
Dave with his last 2, he just needs 2 yellow pills to get out here. A fantastic time from Dave, out at a 7:34. Amazing time from Dave, and Betty was right there behind him, and I think having just that rocky level of that level 7, it's definitely not conducive to how great Betty is actually playing here. She brought this back down to a few things here. Swagging out with the T, and just look at these plays Betty's playing. Just getting these plays, getting that versus pedigree, getting that creativity, and we love to see it here. Just, she's going to take a breather, and she's going to be back and saying, "Dave, let's do this. Let's take it to another game."
Absolutely. Betty will be out here very, very shortly. I think part of that is Dave doing such a great work and keeping his board so clean. And as you can see, Betty didn't keep her board clean. She got really messy on some of the boards on their part, and it really bit her in the end there on level 7.
And I like to say it, Ibar. You were the 2021 runner-up against Packy. Versus is in all of our blood, and I kind of make the joke saying that we love versus so much that when we get missed drops, we bring it a versus back into the speedrunning scene. And I think Betty may have had that moment where she just really wanted to play versus in the middle of her match, and I don't blame her.
I don't either.
All forms of Dr. Mario are fun.
But we have ready from Dave. Do we have ready for Betty? Yes, we do. Okay, and countdown to 3, 2, 1, pills.
Pills. Let's do this here. Dave out the gates first. Betty doing her stretching here. I'm liking. Dave has an interesting board. He's got kind of a ski like a bell curve in the middle of his board here. It's going to be interesting whether or not he takes it all vertically, and I think that's probably a smart thing to do. And meanwhile, Betty is just going through her levels, and I like the color diversity on Betty's board here, Ibar.
Absolutely, I like Betty's board a lot better than Dave's from the beginning. But Dave, we know will make it clean, make it well, and we'll see how he does with it. However, Betty has taken the virus lead, even though she is behind about 10 seconds.
And the timers that we see from these players aren't going to be, if a player starts 10 seconds beforehand, 30 seconds beforehand, it's going to be independent of what we'll actually see with what is reported. So these players are playing with their own timers. They're going to be reporting it, and that's ultimately what's going to determine whether or not we get the winner between that. But Betty cruising through this level. When we saw a hot time here, Betty is coming out swinging with a 105. Amazing work. That's a fast time, and you love to see it. Betty just bringing that heat.
Absolutely. That was just blazing fast. And Dave will be out before too long. He's got his board nice and open still. He's just got to get access to that blue yet. However, Betty, on the other hand, is working on a blue combo down here, and hopefully, she'll put that that's not the play I thought she would make, but still good work.
And that yellow red, just what Betty was hoping for. She drops it down. Strategic garbage setup. Gets it where there's zero garbage to play there. That fantastic vision, that versus pedigree coming into handy when it comes to Betty B's plays. And we just saw it right there, folks. Dropping everything down. She's made this a fantastic game. Dave added 2 minutes, and Betty's just saying, I'm sprinting away, and good luck catching me. This is incredible.
Yes, Betty's been doing some great combo work, great versus play. Dave has a pretty nice board, a lot of red once he gets past all the blues, and not too much on his bottom line, honestly.
He bracketed it down. I think that's a smart play. Yellow was inaccessible, so every yellow piece at that moment was going to be used strategically, and Dave did just that to minimize the amount of drop time that could have easily have added 2 or 3 seconds of the board. But is making meanwhile he's making some quick adjustments to accommodate those pills to continually advance his board here down to it, and he is down to a 17. Just needs a sloth of reds and blues to get to the last part of his board.
Absolutely. And Betty getting rid of the reds to access that blue vertically, and she's out at 255. Great work getting out of 7 sub 3.
Right, and sub 3 when it comes to the first 2 levels is an excellent time for players to try and achieve, and Betty doing just that. Dropping that cross down with it to advance the board is what Betty is trying to do, and continue on with that. Takes that yellow horizontal and has setups where she is ready to continue on with that. Don't really know what she was doing with that, but that was okay. Again, it's early in the level where there wasn't a lot of garbage that will impact her plays.
Betty was looking for the drop fat log, and she got it. But she was a little disappointed in it because she was just trying to set up too much, and it still worked out. So good job on her part. Dave out of 8 or out of 7 already, and he has a pretty decent top line, I feel.
Yeah, I'm liking it. He's got options for vertical plays. He's got options for horizontal plays. Everything that he has, he's got a good colorful top line. So it looks like all of his pills are going to be pretty useful for his plays overall. And as we're saying that, we see this chunk of blue and red on Dave's board, opening it up and placing his pills in a strategic way to continue on with his plans of getting down to get out of level 8 here.
Absolutely. And Betty out at a 430 onto her final level. So she's just cruising through. She should be going out at around 6 minutes, and that'd be a fantastic time.
Swagged out with the T, gets another drop combo here. Betty putting on a clinic with these short combos, dropping it down, just letting it set up. You love to see it here. Blues and reds would be the best thing in her future, and Betty strategically opening up her board to get that yellow over there. That's exactly what you want to see when you don't have access to that yellow. How do we get access to that yellow? And Betty doing just that.
Absolutely, Swan. While Dave here has so much red left on his board right now, and he's looking to open it up a little bit. He has yellow open. He has his blue open. All he needs is red. He needs a lot of red, and I hope he gets it soon.
He's exposed a lot of it here. He's been maneuvering and tucking things around, swimming things over. Everything is mostly free and clear. He's got the reds, which are the most common color on his board currently. He's going to set up and clear that, and he's got a free, very easy end game for the last part of it here. He's going to be out at a 551, but he's a little bit behind the 8 ball here, Ibar.
Yes, he is. He has a decent top line here. He has access to all colors, so all pills should be available for use. Betty here is down to her last 12, doing just great work. 603, she should be out before too long.
And I like that setup. I was a little concerned about the blue there, but look at this drop combo. Red into a double sweet fat T sledgehammer over there. That was amazing. She called down a hammer of justice, and it blew up that blue set of viruses over there. She's down to her final 4 viruses here, Eyebrow. What a combo from Betty.
Absolutely killer combo there, Swan. Betty, not wanting to do that. She wants to get a yellow red, and she does just that. She's down to her last 2, and she'll be out here very, very shortly. She just needs, there we go, and out at a 641.
Great setup from Betty there. She could have, I've done that many a times. I think a lot of players have done that where that yellow blue came up and we accidentally clear what we already had set up. But Betty recognizing, taking a little bit of extra time to flip the pill incorrectly on purpose to make it so that way she wouldn't clear what was underneath. So very smart of Betty for doing that. She takes the victory with game 2 out of 641. Dave still maintaining that clean top line. Looks like he's going to be clearing this out, and I don't blame him. He still played very brilliantly, and we're going to see the last part of it there with Dave as he finishes up his level 9 here, Ibar. What a game between these two so far.
Absolutely, and you know what that means? We get a decider.
Decider, you love to see it.
Absolutely. More Dr. Mario for us to commentate, and more of them for them to play.
Commentators love it, and the players not so much. But hey, that's why this is a spectator sport. I love being inside the booth here. Dave out at a 752. Excellent work from these two. Taking a breather. What a match between these two.
Absolutely. GG's to both our players there, and we'll be going on to the decider very shortly here. We're working on getting readies.
Excellent. I'm looking forward to it here. Warm apple cider during the holidays, perfect time here. I'm more of a hot chocolate guy myself, but you can't complain when it comes to those two things there.
Absolutely. We got a ready from Betty and a ready from Dave. So we get that countdown here shortly. You want to go with it?
Let's do this here. And DrMC podcast count is down at 3, 2, 1, and pills. Let's go. Dave with a very yellow top line here. Not really going to be using those blue. Not the blues aren't going to be that helpful, but I like that drop combo. Look at that vision from Dave. If he can get this set up with that red and yellow there, he can easily destroy that, turning that yellow-red setup. Beautiful drop. Look at that vision by Dave.
That
Bring
was
it down
great
21.
vision by Dave, keeping it nice and clean after what looked like could have been garbage. So
He kept
great
it very
vision.
methodical. Yes, yes. It was very good to see. Love to see it.
Betty has a lot of double opportunities. You probably would have preferred a blue red there instead, but she's gonna do great work having a yellow there instead.
And I like the drop cross. Look at that cross from Betty. Drops everything down, minimizing the garbage. We're down to a 3-virus game between these two. Another horizontal from Betty and another horizontal. This is a versus player's dream with her play style. Amazing work.
Absolutely fantastic work. Both these players showing it is decider time. We are not messing around no more. We want to win. We want this victory.
Look at this setup here. Betty possibly going for the fat log, opting for it. She's going to get that red-yellow, dropping it down, holding out for that possibility of the blue-red. Hopefully the blue-red comes. Meanwhile, the non-blue halves here just coming this way here. Red going to that right. She wants the fat log for the viewers. Can we get it? Chat, can we get it? A fat log for Betty. And she is out at a 129.
And Dave was already out at a 120-ish and just moving on, doing some great work. Was just cooked right through that level 6. Decent top line from him as well right now, and just gonna take out those blues singly up in top. You might have to wait till that for last.
Right, and Dave's got this setup where he has double opportunities set up there, dropping everything down. He's going to get horizontal plays here and minimizing that drop time. We know Dave is very good at sniffing those methodical plays out to minimize the drop time and minimize and making it. He's maintained that clean board, and it's working out very well for him with this match between these two. But as we say that, we're down to a 4-virus game between these two players here, Ivar.
Absolutely, and Betty just cooking through level 7, catching right back up to Dave. Dave down to only blues and reds. Betty almost down to only blues and reds. Only access to 2 more yellows left, and she's going to take that here shortly.
I didn't want to interrupt you because Betty had this fantastic John Dat Flindo style swim where that yellow was really just bunkered away at the very bottom portion of it. Manages to swim everything down, and with a play like that, you might expect to have some sort of error in that, but she performed that flawlessly to just maintain a clean line here. And with plays like that, she's down to her final 4 and has a very clean and tidy end game with that with her board here. But Dave out at a 314. Pie time for everybody.
And Betty out at a 309. So only 6. Betty's ahead by 6 seconds currently, and both players just doing fantastic work with Betty getting a great tee.
Amazing tea to get that here. We have pie from Dave and tea from Betty. We got ourselves a holiday feast. Anyways, we're going to continue with this and get it there. Betty having maintained that top line, keeping her plays simple. That's sometimes simple is good, and sometimes we do like the big combos with Betty, showing us that sometimes it's not all about the combos here. Betty down to her final 22 viruses here, and Dave just needs blues to continue on advancing his board here, Ibar.
Yes, indeed. Dave still keeping a super clean board. I'm super impressed on how he can keep doing that every single level. But he is down to just yellows. He has a double yellow coming up. He just needs 2 more yellows, and he'll be out here at whenever he gets a yellow.
And Betty putting a fat log on for the fans here. She had a fat log dropping down, minimizing that garbage, kept it nice and tidy, and looks to being like she's going to hopefully get that blue-yellow to keep everything nice and clean, nice and tidy. Does not get that, but instead gets the blue, still maintaining a very tidy top board here. These players, man, amazing work.
Absolutely. And I loved how Betty made a platform off to the side so that she can use any blue to go ahead and get that instead of waiting for only a blue-yellow. That great sight and great uses of her pills that were just garbage.
Good, worth noting. Yeah, I definitely don't do that enough, and I'm gonna have to take that page out of Betty's book. So I'm gonna have to definitely review the footage and see what she did exactly. But as we say that, Betty is taking the lead now. She is 6 fires ahead of Theeedave here.
Yeah, I looked over at Dave's board and it looked like he was having some trouble, maybe a misdrop or something. I'll have to check the tape back later, but he had a slow start on this level 9 and not the time you want to do it in the semifinals of the last match of the years.
Dave tucking those yellow blues around to open up that board. Is presented with non-blue, now gets access to that blue. He has a little bit more color diversity, which is what he needs there. Betty with a little bit of an extra pill placement with that blue. She's going to have to possibly clear that one out last or clear it from underneath. This is what she's signaling to us.
Yeah, Betty was not happy about that. She did not see that coming, but she's working with it. Dave almost cleaned his board right back up, and it's a very close game. This is going to be very exciting to see at the end.
Down to the wire, Betty looking for that red blue. Gets the combo. It fires off a little early, but that's okay. Still advancing the board here. Dave with a sloth of yellows and reds, and Betty just needing. She has everything mostly free and clear at this point. Probably looking like to clear those yellows vertically. The red's going to be off to the side, and this is going to be neck and neck between these two here. Ibar.
Absolutely. Betty needing to get the horizontal and then the yellow, and she'll be out at 636, and she will take the victory. GG's to Betty. GG's to Dave.
That was a blink and you miss it type of victory there. I literally looked over. I'm like, Betty's finished the board. Wow, that was really awesome. That was super fast here. Props to both players for that. A 6:36 is a fantastic time. Dave topping out, but I mean, what a match between these two. We got ourselves cider, we got sweet tea, we got pie. Man, this is great, man. This is the perfect way to get into the holidays here. I love it.
Absolutely. This is a great way to go into the finals. Betty B moving on to face I forgot who won our last match.
OoktheLibrarian.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This is great. This is going to be a slugfest. Stay tuned, everyone.